Oh, howdy all, grab yourselves a beer, it is time for some Path of Exile discussion. I wanted to go through what I've been able to figure out so far about heist encounters in the Heist League. If you haven't started yet, I'm having a lot of fun. There have been a lot of technical issues and my computer is running really hot when in the Rogue Harbour, but those seem to be getting fixed. Apparently the most common instance crash was fixed a couple of hours ago, so hopefully things are going to improve. Anyways, the first thing you'll notice is that they have the ability to be crafted like maps. So these contracts, you'll pick these up basically a little bit less commonly than map drops, but they can drop from lower level in the game, lower levels as well. Sometimes you'll get ones that are quest items. Do those when you get them or soon after, because they will introduce you to the various NPCs that will help you. Otherwise, there is less of an implication for map mods have less of an effect on these than they do on maps, as far as I've been able to find. They don't add as much difficulty as map mods normally do, and a lot of them have unusual effects. So let's just have a quick look. I'll alteration this. This just has map mods on it, but there's a few exclusive ones. Here's an interesting one in that it has a couple of different mods on it. Firstly, you'll see this is actually only one mod, but it looks like more than one. You've got reduced raising of alert level. Increased time before lockdown. So think of that as the bonuses. Much like you would normally get pack size and item quantity on a normal map, here instead of getting pack size and quantity, you get more of an ability to grab chests and increase time to get to the chest at the end as well. And then there's minus 3% player lightning resistance per 25% alert level. Now I'm just going to hit it with an augment as well, and now you'll see that I've picked up additional reduced raising of alert level, increased time before lockdown, and reward room monsters deal increased damage. I'm going to run this as it is and demonstrate what happens. So firstly, you talk to Adia here, the Wayfinder, and present the heist to her. She will give you a list of all of your team members that have the relevant skills. So you'll see here that it says requires demolition level 2. If you don't have characters with level 2 and higher skills, you can pretty much always buy from this barber dude over here. He seems to sell monster level 67 contracts, so essentially equivalent to the feeding trough zone just before Katava. And those often but not always have level 1 requirements. So what I'm going to do here, I am prioritizing leveling up my lowest level characters in general. But one very important thing, have a read first of what all of the additional text is on these characters. So Tibbs has the ability to unlock 1 mechanical chest after lockdown per wing. So that means that on your way out, you can get 1 chest. You'll see what that means when we run it. Huck the soldier will fight alongside you. I don't know if he's strong or not. He doesn't seem to be an overwhelming force, but he also doesn't seem completely inconsequential. Apparently he provides buffs to allies, I haven't noticed that. And Vindiri the Dismantler gives you 2 effects. The first one is positive. Heist chests have 11% chance to duplicate their contents, but there's a big drawback, 18% increased raising of alert level. Ultimately that's going to mean that often you're going to get 1 less chest. If you're having trouble with the alarm going off early, then it's probably because you're using rogues that have that ability on them. So for that reason, you want to be careful. I'm still going to run this underbelly contract with Vinderi, but I'm just going to be a little bit careful and not be too greedy. The other thing that you want to say is that you have an objective, but all you get for that objective is some experience for your rogue and some coins. It is entirely justified to intentionally fail the objective. And you will often do this if you see really juicy reward chests that you want and that you would prefer to have instead of having all those coins. And you know, that XP, that you can get that XP later, that's fine. The Rogue's Marker coins drop everywhere. Now you'll notice that because I'm running a plus 18% alert rogue, the alert's going up quite a bit from killing monsters. There are rogues that have -2 alert, although none of them seem to have the ability to complete this map. And you'll notice at the moment that... would you stop chasing me and just start exploding? You'll notice that there's not much pressure that I'm under yet. That will change eventually. So here I'm setting off a bomb. If the rogue is hit while they're doing that, then there will be a real problem. Like, it'll be reset. That's annoying, and it's why you need to fight to protect them when that happens. You also need to be careful how much you fight. Although you're probably going to kill everything that you come to, you don't want to go into side rooms unless you have a plan for them. Otherwise, you'll end up setting off too many combat encounters, and that will be bad. That'll reduce the amount of grace that you have in your alert bar, and that grace is a currency. You're going to be spending it. We'll get to that point in a sec. So what I'm doing at the moment is I've noticed that there's a metamorph reward. There's 2 metamorph chests, one there and one here. I've made the decision that I can't possibly get both of them, and I'm going to take the one that's closer to the heist target. I could actually take both the metamorph rewards if I wanted to, but in doing so, I'd be failing the actual quest itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this for now, but I'm not actually going to take the chest yet. I'm just going to open up this room and kill any monsters inside it, and just keep a tab on my alert level. At this point, let's keep going. Now, the tense moment is going to be when the alarm is tripped. That's going to happen when the alert level reaches 100%, which in this case I know will be when I detonate that, when I take that metamorph chest. That'll have catalysts, almost always imbued catalysts at this level, I think. Which are good, like imbued catalysts are solid. They're just really cheap. Okay, so at this point, I've got a little bit of alert level left. So I'm going to go and remember that that's a currency. I'm going to go and I'm going to burn it. So first thing I'm going to do is pick up these crates. These have random goods. You don't have any information on what they're going to contain. I'm going to pick up this one, and that's a couple of uniques. What is that thing? I can't identify it yet, can I? And I'll just pick up the other one, just pack wrap. Now I'm going to open this. You'll see before I commit to doing so how much it's going to affect my alert level. So it's safe. And that's a currency one. I don't actually own these yet. I'm not going to own them unless I successfully get out. Now, I'm going to detonate this. At this point, that's going to set off my alert level to full. As soon as it's done, we've got 22 seconds. We've got to get to the end. This is where your Quicksilver flasks are for. This is the reason I'm running 2 Quicksilvers. Get here, and now we have to escape. Notice that I didn't pick up the Metamorph loot. That's going to be done on the way out. And that's just because of potential time pressure. I overestimated how much time pressure I was under, actually. Now, I mentioned in my discussion of builds that damage projection around corners was a major factor that I was thinking of with this league from what was seen in the previews. And it is. These monsters have damage reduction until you've presented out there, which is considerable, but it's not overwhelming, and I can definitely hit them. Additionally, I'm using the Black Hole skill to group enemies up and just get them out of the way. That is actually a very powerful cooldown. Now, the longer that I'm in here, the more intense the reinforcements get, and they get worse and worse and worse. Some of the doors that I've opened have been relocked, so I have to have the rogue do those while I protect him. Monsters will aggro me, not the rogue. So if the only thing they see is the rogue, then they'll aggro the rogue. Otherwise, they will aggro me. Here's a formation again. These monsters are deadly. Even though this is only a tier 2 or tier 3, don't underestimate them. They do a lot of damage, and my squishy self can't face tank them or anything close to it. I think you really need powerful in-game defenses in order to face tank anything in here. Think of it being like the Maraketh Legions. If you're familiar with the Legion content, those things are pretty nuts. And there you go, that's the sort of hail of arrows that I come under. The only reason I survived there was because I was moving. I was conscious of where the monsters would attack, and I was moving. Now, at this point where you don't normally fight your way out, I've got enough character power that I can at this point, but what you can do is from the point where the rogue is last needed, which I think may have been this door, no, it was this door, all you need to do is just run and move skill out. Now that I've got to the exit, the area that you were in is set on fire. and I've got out successfully. All the loot is now locked in as mine. I got the, no, not the Lustrous Sword, I got the Urn of Tharud, which is something that I can sell, and the item level of that, or the zone, determines how much I get in the way of coins. I'm actually very low on coins at the moment because I spent a lot of them on upgrading for a Grand Heist, which I don't actually know if I'm what they're like. I haven't run any of them yet, but I went and upgraded one a lot to which is a big coin sink. Now at this point, that is a successful completion of a heist. Loot-wise, I didn't get much out of that one. I think I got, what, 1, 2, 3 and a bit chaos. I can't actually remember what this item is. Triad Grip, of course. That. I don't think that's worth much. So yeah, I might have got, say, 5 or 6 chaos worth of stuff out of that one, which is probably a little bit less than my average has been, but it's not derisory either. The biggest individual payouts I've had have been in the 20 chaos range. I had one chest that had 10 gem cutter prisms and a bunch of other little stuff. I had one chest that had 2 exalted shards and a few other things. I had another one that had an ancient orb. Number of things like that that have been picked up. I haven't had any absolute jackpot hits yet. I haven't had a raw exalt drop for me this league, but there's still lots more to explore. Anyways, let's run another one and apply the same sort of general principles. So this is a perception level 2. So when I go to Adia, I'll talk to her, pair the heist, and so I control click that if you're wondering. And now at this point, because it requires level 2, I can't use Nennet here. Nennet's not an option, so Nennet's abilities are hidden. I would choose between 30% reduced alert level from opening chests, or this one, which allows me to discover a blueprint reveal upon finishing one. I'll take that because this should be a fairly easy run. Should. This one is not augmented. It's not elked or anything. I haven't generally been elking these. They seem not to get much loot from it. So again, stealth is not required, no matter what people on Reddit say. Stealth is a viable option, rather than the meme it normally is in this game, but it doesn't seem required at all. Blitz through. And we will check. Here we've got a prophecy reward. Oh, and here we've got one of the bosses. These bosses have been easy so far. However, I'm not going to say that they're definitely all easy. I'm going to skip the prophecies reward. I've been underwhelmed by them, and I want to save enough juice to be able to get to the end without any dramas. And then I'm going to open that with my final alert bar. I'm going to open that divination reward. That's the same boss again. That isn't cool. I don't like him. He seems to add a lot of... like, killing him seems to add a lot of alert. He is probably one that I should stealth past, actually. Or when I say stealth past, stealth means run past at blinding speed. So I'm opening the way to the end, and opening all of the doors that are between the divination card chest in here. And at this point, check my flask situation. I only have 1 Quicksilver available. So, why is that not... Oh, there it is. The rogues open these, not you. I shouldn't have looted that there. I should have run straight to the end. That was a mistake. You will make mistakes in here while you get the hang of it. Okay, so I've picked up the goal object. And I just took a massive hit from something. I'll have to have a look at what that was. One of the things that I find really important in here is never stand still. And the reason I took such a big hit is because I was standing still. Additionally, if you're aware of the positioning of monsters and you can track them, just like with Maraketh Legions, keep turning around regarding to them. So you want to always have angular momentum with respect to each of them. That's why that beam just missed me. It's like he fired off a Cirrus-style beam. Some of the Nemesis monsters are really scary in here too. As you can see here, that's a horrible encounter, and I'm going to run straight past it. I'm not going to try and kill everything there. I'm going to try and run to the next door that I need the rogue on. and then I'm going to clear here. Okay, so now at this point, I've stabilized, and I want to put a little nasty here when it's opened, and you see that both of us basically I preloaded stuff to fire as soon as the enemies came online, but they did exactly the same to me because they're not stupid. They know this. They know the strategies that we use. They know how to counter them, and they know how to use them themselves. Now, in terms of build consequences here, projecting damage around corners is essential. It's not just it's not the benefit that I thought it would be. It's incredible. It's everything. Being able to just, with a fight like that was ridiculously rough, being able to just go, okay, you know what? I'm just going to tank nothing. I'm going to stay around the corner safely. And that's why I'm really happy with the choice of being a miner. Leave aside whether Glacial Cascade is necessarily the right choice. I'm generally liking it. But I think you could do the same thing with any other mine as well. Okay, at this point, I'm in trouble, and I'm going to start running. Just trying to find if there's anything further that I need the rogue for on the way. Because if there is, I need to clear. If there's not, then I can just bolt for the end. It looks like there isn't, so that's what I wanted to see. I can just run straight out. That's what it's like running out under real pressure. And pay attention to the fact that this is a tier 4 map equivalent. So my character, before I got the Tremor Rod, which is roughly double and a half to my damage output, before I had the Tremor Rod, I was fine with doing yellow maps at fairly good speed. These are much harder than a map of equivalent tier. Anyways, that's a bit of a sense as to what's involved. I'm having a lot of fun with these contracts at the moment. Definitely they are lucrative. The rewards are certainly there. And even if you haven't really seen many on this, I have been getting them. And additionally, Grand Heists have some pretty silly things as well. There's an image doing the rounds on Reddit of someone who has a replica Headhunter, which is not as good as the original Headhunter. It's essentially a variant of Headhunter, but for magic monsters instead. Magic monsters have less powerful mods than rares, and it's only a 20% chance to steal a mod from them. So it's not as good as Headhunter, but it's vaguely close to competitive. And essentially, if you can't afford Headhunter, the replica Headhunter is probably best in slot. There's a number of other kind of ridiculous items as well that have been found, and that's from the Grand Heist, which once I've done a few of, I'll have some thoughts on. Anyways, if you've got any comments or questions, fire away below. Hopefully the performance issues are getting better. I've had a real lot of problems with crashes at the start of this league. I crashed in the most annoying spots. Like I was in a full group doing Act 7, and I used my Malagaro's map, and then crashed inside it. So all 6 portals had already been used, and then I lost pace with my group. Had to go and get myself another copy of Malagaro's map, then go and do Malagaro myself. That was a mongrel. That was just like the worst time possible to have a crash. And then later I had one during Act 9. I had a crash followed by a patch, so I couldn't get back in before my zone had expired. And that was when I was doing Doedre the Screamer in Act 9. So I took a death there, which only 5% XP, don't really care about. But by the time I got back, I had to do the whole run from the quarry back there. So tech issues have been pretty bad. It's not Delve level bad. If you played launch of Delve League, it's not as bad as that was. It's not as bad as the tech issues that plagued the first 3 weeks of the Synthesis League, but it is probably on par with how bad Legion was at release. Anyway, I'm having a lot of fun though, other than the tech issues, and I'm going to leave it there. I hope you have a good one.